What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen this how that was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. This is definitely a sad situation, I'll tell you that. Reverend Al Sharpton, he put out, this post. I'm not gonna read the post, but I'm gonna put in my 2 cents about the post. And I'm gonna definitely say that this is something that I find very sickening, I should say. Something that I definitely don't agree with. I don't know about y'all, but I find it disturbing. Like said, in this post before, that this is more so for a photo op. That's how I feel. You got Ben Crump, you got Al Sharpton. In this picture, with Nolan's mom. You got Al Sharpton and with Nolan's mom and dad right here. You got Spike Lee, Terrell Owens. You got some famous faces, in the pictures. And I find it pretty wild that they're doing this to get their names out there. They're doing this for the money rather than actually showing up and being there. And I can't even really say showing up and being there because that'll still be the same. That'll be the same type, because that's what they're about. You know what I mean? That's truly what they're about. And that's what makes it sickening. It truly makes it sickening. Especially the way and the narrative that they're trying to put this. I'm telling y'all, mind you, saying there's no foul play. With the first autopsy, the private autopsy, or the hire that they had. And I mean, like I said, I find it completely insane. I find it completely insane. I don't know. Got it right here. It says in this New York Post, I've been having some issues with this, though. I've truly been having some issues with New York Post. I truly have. I've been finding it a little bit odd. It says Mississippi governor blames activists in Nolan Wells case for, obviously, when it comes to them, dividing things, stoking out a division. Me personally, that's exactly what they're doing. Obviously, we're not. And me personally, that I feel like so many people are seeing that. And just not white people, black people, all over. They're seeing this. I told you, I talked to my grandmother about this. She said this is like that. That's sickening. They did that. At the funeral, them doing this is sickening. And it truly is. I mean, this is something, they're grifters. At the end of the day, they're grifters. You got it right here. Says video shows friend group on boat on the dock before their trip.
The boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats, and some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. The video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats.
Multiple.
So therefore, it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
So you have it right there. It's literally multiple individuals. Multiple individuals. I don't know why this audio is playing off my iPad. I definitely apologize, y'all, if y'all seeing that or hearing that. I mean, you have it right here, and this is Rodney. Y'all can find him at Crypto Journey RS. So y'all can go follow him. Again, this is somebody that, truly I listened to a little snippet of what he was saying. But you have it here, and he put Officer Tatum reveals camera footage of Nolan Wells and friends before leaving to the island. Like said, people trying to make it seem like he just went with 3 or 4 white friends, and that's totally not true at all. He didn't just go with 3 or 4 white friends. It's multiple people. I'm pretty sure 3 boats loads of people. Check it out.
This is something I actually pointed out when the case, really started hitting, multiple headlines. Is that the fact that Nolan Wells didn't go to, the island with just one group of boys. As you can see, Officer Tatum actually went to the private dock where they launched from, right? And he actually went with a few different groups, right? It's just that not everyone can fit on one boat, right? Remember, he had black friends that went with him. A lot of people act like, these white kids abducted him and took him to the island and then murdered him and those sorts of things, right? And this is the video. So, shout out to Officer Tatum for getting this done, going out there,
most
getting
definitely.
boots on the ground, you can say, and kind of dispelling that myth. Even though if you're in the know, that wasn't the case, but sometimes it takes someone with the platform that Officer Tatum has to kind of get that in front of everybody's eyes. Even though people who have a dog in this fight won't really, believe what you have to say about the case, right? So, I think his best friend Javion went on the island with them. He went on TMZ and talked about it and those sorts of things. So very important, part of this case, because as much as people want to make it seem like he was in a place where he didn't know these people, or these are random white people. I mean, these are his friends that he grew up with. I mean, I think his last post on Instagram is like him with his friends and like a country song. A lot of shit that would make these like hoorah crazy black people cringe. So. Shout out to Officer Tatum. This is something
It's definitely sad that they're doing this. After seeing like the pictures, seeing hearing his friend, his best friend at that, speaking stuff like that, I truly just hate it. I hate it. I hate it for the individuals that have to go through this and have to listen to the BS that they're putting out. I definitely want them to find out, if it was something that exactly happened. But from the looks of things and from the sounds of things, I'm not seeing much of actually what has went on. You have it right here, this Officer Tatum that actually went out, and, check the island out. Let's check it out.
This is where the lie started, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here. But I want you guys to put this in your mind, what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep, from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and for what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man, get on the boat. Get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was gonna stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat, he didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. This is where the lie started. If anything would have happened directly.
So honestly, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. They're continuing a lot, because I seen a post that they actually had a post of a white boy literally doing something to, and it's sad of what they did. Y'all just have to see the post. I can't really explain it on here, but it's truly sickening on the lies that people do. They're making up AI images of things that's going on, and it's truly just sad. They're making their own stories, and using AI pictures and actually making them honestly look a little real, but you can definitely tell, within some stuff. And it's sickening on what
involving Nolan and his friends. You can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie.
Exactly. It truly is. And that's what's sad about this whole thing. I'm telling y'all. You got it right here. It says, sister of the girl he allegedly stayed behind with speaks out. Says here, I want to make sure I got this right. McCormick's sister, Gracie McCormick, said her sister believed Wells was preparing to leave with the same friends who had brought him to the island. Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out on, Gracie McCormick said. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on a boat wouldn't have left him. Gracie said her sister was visiting Horn Island with a different group than Wells and was later picked up by her brother and his fiance. She added that the family has fully cooperated with investigators and Wells' mother. We have given all the answers we can to give his mom and authorities, she said. There has been no allegation of wrongdoing against Katie McCormick, and Wells' family has publicly expressed support for her. Still, the accounts about whether Wells intended to board the boat with his friends or remain on the island have become a central focus of the questions surrounding the case. Obviously, if they called, they needed a tow, he wanted to stay. I mean, that's kind of ruling that out right there. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who retained by Wells' family, previously highlighted a conflicted statement saying she's saying he went and got on the boat. They saying he didn't get on the boat. So which is it? So me going back up. Her sister believed Wells was preparing to leave with the same friends who brought him to the island. Katie had a conversation, assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out on. Okay, assume friends tell him to get on the boat, wouldn't have left him. So obviously she's saying that she would assume, obviously you having so many boats out there, this, that, and the other. I mean, I truly get it. Excuse me. What I don't understand is how people are not understanding, though. If it's all those boats out there, he's talking to somebody, people out swimming in the water, doing this, doing that. I mean, come on, y'all. It's kind of like explaining it itself. I don't want to sit here and assume what it is, but y'all know where I'm getting at when it comes down to it. Says right here, new evidence proves viral photo of Nolan Wells at a pool party was taken June 27, 2026, a week before he was reported missing 4th of July weekend at Horn Island. So a lot of people are lying about this, saying, about this picture. This was a week before, So a lot of people are obviously putting out, false information over and over and over. You have it right here. It says Nolan best friend says the pool photo wasn't taken on July 4th, but 1 week earlier. Let's check it out.
You said you guys went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you.
Yeah.
So where's this picture at? Like, what is it? What's the context around that picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before the 4th of July. We all went to a friend of ours in Pass Christian. We have a lot of friends from Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian. We all went over there to hang out, and
And Nolan was in that picture?
Nolan was in that picture. And if you look in the picture, my arm is around Nolan in that picture, And, I mean, that was a week before the 4th of July. So that picture is not associated within even the same. I mean, that was like a week before. So, yeah.
So you guys are now at swimming and having a good time at a lady friend's house.
Right. I never got to the pool. I talked to her dad for a while.
Okay.
And, I mean, all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad. We were talking about boats and stuff. And, I've been with my friends all day. I was just talking to everybody. But
so you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out. And my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. And I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like, I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but like, I'm trying to find out where Nolan is.
So, like I said, me personally, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said from the get-go, I truly feel as if this is something, again, it's a drowning from, when they saying that alcohol is involved, this, that, and the other. Me personally, I don't want to assume. I can't really tell y'all what, I can't really tell y'all exactly what. You know what I mean? I don't know anything. You know, that's what the investigation is for. But at the same time, you know, looking into this, then again, people got to think about that. It's really nothing to really, when it comes down to the investigation, we're not really seeing nothing. Things are coming back. There's no foul play within the autopsy. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? So like I said, I mean, I'm not knocking them to saying just stop investigating. But me personally, I mean, I don't know. That's why it's important. Pay attention. See things that's going on. I mean, you obviously have his best friend saying he fully cooperating with the police. Obviously on here talking to Brandon Tatum.
I just found his body, and I was like, I wanted to have hope, but it was really, really hard to have hope when they haven't found your buddy in the last 2 days. And but there's still a little bit of hope there. But my reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down, and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder, and I cried, and I was upset. And so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was. And I just remember, like, it was insane. Like, I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know, and how upset my friends were. So.
And then comes the stories and the backlash and the craziness. I mean, you guys are now hearing that you're responsible for it. You did it. You killed Nolan. So what was the next step? Did you guys ever engage with police or?
Yeah, so the first time I talked to the police was July 7th. I talked to the lead investigator, and I told them my whole story top to bottom. I told them everything I knew, every little detail. I mean, everything I could, you know, tell them to try to figure something out, you know.
Were you the only one to talk to the cops, or
no, of course
some
not.
Of the other guys?
You know, every person that was included, especially, you know, the guys that you see on social media, everybody cooperated with the police fully. You know, Nolan was with us on the way out, and he rode out on the boats with us. So I mean, we were the first people to get questioned. I mean, we cooperated with the police the first time they called us, and you know, we talked to them, you know, as soon as they needed, and we were fully cooperative.
And we see Benjamin Crump coming to town, hated about race. What's your feeling about that? Do you think that?
And that's something that I definitely can't wait to check out when it comes down to the whole part 3. You know, but I definitely want to hear from other individuals when it comes down to Nolan friends and stuff like that, black or white. I definitely do, because I feel like that's something that's important to me. I don't know about y'all, but I want to know how they feel about that, because that's something that I truly just find odd, that you have Ben Crump and Al Sharpton coming in the picture. They don't really know. I mean, they're on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a little odd.
Has anything to do with race, or because I mean, obviously something happened to Nolan. It's no evidence that you were involved at all. Right. You guys had left. Right. But do you think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I mean, I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us. But if you go look on, you know, like my friends have had Nolan posted all over our social medias, you know, since freshman year in high school. If Nolan ever felt uncomfortable with us, why would he be hanging out with us all the time? I mean, every day we're back from college, we hang out and we're around each other all the time. So absolutely not. I would never look at Nolan any other way than I would any of my other friends. I mean, he was like a brother to me.
And I'm not gonna lie, that sound about right. That sound about real. Just for the simple fact, everybody is saying that he was real good at football. You know, obviously a leader. You know, this, that, and the other. And I feel like you being a leader, you being popular, you being that type of guy. And I know people gonna say, "Oh, this still doesn't stop anybody from doing something to him." You know, but at the same time, regardless, why would he put himself in that position to even hang out with somebody, or, you know, be around, you know, individuals that he doesn't feel? And there are some people that do, but me personally, just seeing how people are talking about Nolan and saying of, you know, how great of a person he is, this, that, and the other, I just don't see that. I truly don't see that. I feel like this is something that, obviously they want to make this something out to be, and put it with color because it was, and they're saying there was a majority of white people, So I feel like that's just, where that's going. Now, this is what I want to talk about. Reverend Jordan Wells. And this is something that I find very, very interesting. I find it completely interesting. And I love the simple fact that we talk about these things, that we go over these things, because I feel like these are things that's obviously important to do. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like these are things that's obviously important to do. I haven't read this whole thing, but and that's why I gotta make sure all my notes and stuff is correct. But you have right here says these Nolan Wells questions still don't add up. And I want to make sure got this right. Says, I don't care about color. I just want the truth. I disagree with Brandon Tatum on the Nolan Wells case. Something feels unresolved. I refuse to accuse the boys of unaliving. There's no proven evidence of that, but real issues remain, deserve answers. Key issues, conflicting accounts. Friends said Nolan stayed on Horn Island to talk to a girl he just met. The girl reportedly said he planned to return with the group. Others who knew him said stand behind alone was completely out of character. Now, again, even if, bruh, how he's saying that right here, the girl reportedly said he planned on return to the group, and others knew him said stand behind was completely out of character. That still doesn't. Okay. Let's say this. Say him like say Nolan like, nah, y'all go ahead. I ain't getting on it. I'm talking to this girl. They could have been, talking and this, that, and the other. Or they could have walked, you know what I'm saying? Good girl reportedly said he planned to return with the group. So even if they did let, mind y'all, I don't know if this girl knew exactly them. I mean, I don't know. And that's what I need to, look into too. Speaking on all the friends, but there were 3 boats of them. 3 boats of friends. So anybody that would be talking to somebody, they never knew that they paying attention, this, that, and the other. So I don't know about that. That ain't really something that, and I get that, what he's saying a little bit, but still, I truly feel as if is not that. I mean, it gotta be something else. Says phone and keys left behind. The friends returned with Nolan's cell phone and car keys. Why take them if he was voluntarily staying? Phone and keys was taken. Nolan's cell phone and car keys. Why take them? I understand. The family also reported messages appeared deleted when they recovered the phone. Timeline departure, the boat began taking on water, and the group left around 3 to 4:30 p.m. Nolan was last seen around 3 p.m. Questions remain about whether he was urged to leave or why no one made sure he had a way back from the island with no facilities or service. Again, if he left his phone on the boat, and I'm not making up an excuse, I'm just trying to make it make sense because these are things that were said. If he left his phone on the boat, they said it was other phones on the boat, and then they took the boat back because of problems. I can see why they had the phone, right? And the car keys. Because they had to bring the boat back because it messed up, right? Early official statements, his body was found face down in the water on July 6th. The sheriff's cook said no foul play was suspected and a drowning was likely before a full autopsy and the toxicology results. And that's going and saying that though. I don't really know how it works, but seeing that and just seeing that somebody, drowned, that could be the case. Autopsy status, official results, still pending. The independent autopsy listed cause, manner of death undetermined, pending investigation, noted discretion on the back of the head and missing neck structures from the exam, no clear fractures. I already talked about that. missing neck structures from the first exam. Obviously, it was because they needed that, and they did that in that first exam. Took it out. Says no clear fractures or deep injuries were found. So again, how could there be foul play? I don't know. Now, this discoloration at the back of the head, they're saying because obviously they had to prop his head up. Then you got it right here. Dozens of witnesses have been interviewed and grand jury review is planned, but public details remain limited. Nolan was a strong athlete in the swimmer. Race has been raised by some, though friends, including one interviewed by Tatum, firmly reject any racial motive. So again, even if he was a strong athlete and a swimmer, if you're out drinking and you in deep water, I mean, come on. Did we not talking about you swimming and you having a beer in the pool? Obviously, two, if there's drugs involved. And again, I'm just trying to make it all make sense based off of the facts that I've, seen and been told. Brandon Tatum has highlighted the friends' cooperation and the lack of evidence for foul play or racism. Those points have weight. Still, the conflicting details, phone key situation, premature statements, undetermined cause of death, leave legitimate reasons to demand full transparency. The investigation is ongoing. Complete results should bring clarity. Until then, these open questions make the case feel unfinished without assuming for him to be unalived. Says even strong swimmers can drown and riptides, which is definitely true. And again, that's why it completely makes sense for people to understand. Again, alcohol literally, and somebody said severely lowers endurance and reaction time in the water. Alcohol and drugs. Not saying that's what it is. Completely. But just saying. Do you think people swim with the phone and keys on them? They weren't only on the phone and keys on the boat. And I would say to assume that and again, I'm reading these comments. And as I'm reading these comments, y'all know, as I was reading what Jordan Wells is saying, I've said the same things. These are based on the facts that we got. So I understand of him like, okay, well, I got this question. It's just something that you got to make sense of because, again, these are the only facts we have right now. Obviously, I want it, to have that investigation to be investigated right. But at the same time, me personally, y'all heard what I said. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Catch y'all next one.